Hi, everyone, and welcome back to AHM's Here For You podcast. We thank you for joining today. And as we continue our series focusing on prevention and substance use, I am honored to have two guests on the show today. I have Christina Smith on. She works for AHM and wears many hats at AHM, but today she's going to be talking about our Smart Recovery program. And I also have Brittany Whiteley, who works for Amplify. She's going to talk to us today about some materials or items that youth might possibly be hiding substances in. So welcome. Thank you both for coming on today.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for having us.
So let's get started by talking about AHM Smart Recovery Program. This is a program that we have been offering our community for quite a long time now. And we have a couple ways that, we bring the SMART program to the community. The first one I want you to talk about, Christina, is our Smart Recovery program that we have at RAM High School. So can you talk a little bit about kind of how Smart Recovery began and what it's all about?
Yeah, okay, so Smart Recovery is an evidence-based support group that aims to help people with addictions, and it is a 4-point program. Unlike some others that are like 12-step and very rigid, Smart Recovery is definitely not like that. The 4 points that we do have for it is building motivation, coping with urges, and problem solving, and the last one is learning how to live a balanced lifestyle. And I think for especially like working at RAM and our youth, it's like so good to have a program that isn't, you have to be here, because they're not even, fully mentally developed yet. So,
Yeah. I think too, what I like about our Smart Recovery program is that it is open to students with any type of addiction. So of course that might be substances. That's been kind of our focus for these first 4 episodes of the podcast. But it could be online betting, gambling,
yep.
gaming, any addictive behavior that a youth would like to improve upon.
Yeah.
They can come to you. So Christina, tell us, when are Smart Recovery meetings held and how would a student come and participate?
Yeah, so normally our Smart Recovery meetings are held on Thursdays through all 3 lunch waves. So it's 5th, 6th, and 7th period for the students. I do put every once in a while in the Students Rambler newsletter, be like, hey, Smart Recovery is this, just like as a, heads up.
As a reminder. Yeah.
As a reminder, yep. And we don't really have anything online currently for Smart Recovery, but I mean, that's always an option. So if there is a student that needs to be, or like homeschooled and like needs to be on a Zoom, that's totally available if we ever did need to do that.
So during lunch waves, if a student wants to come to Smart Recovery, where can they find you within the school?
Yeah, I'm located in the guidance office, and we actually, AHM has their own little cute room. I like to call it like a Zen den, because we've got a couch and some comfy chairs.
Yeah, it's a really great space.
It is, yeah, and we definitely have, I stock up on card games, because a lot of the times during the meetings, the students, instead of just sitting there one-on-one and talking, sometimes it's nice to have like that distraction. So like Uno, Uno is definitely a big one.
Now, if a student wants to come down to a Smart Recovery meeting, but maybe doesn't want to come by themselves, are they able to bring somebody of support, a friend, a buddy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I always do encourage, if they are hesitant about coming to Smart Recovery, they are absolutely, allowed to bring a friend. And I always tell them too, I'm like, go grab lunch, go get some food. I'm like, I know I have snacks in here, but that's not going to hold you over.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, go get your food, come back. And, and then like I said, we do have students who have brought friends in, and it just makes them, I think, a little bit more comfortable too, to have that.
Have that support network.
Yeah.
And lunch waves are kind of long, so there is plenty of time to go get your lunch and then come down to the Smart Recovery room.
Absolutely.
All right, so you come into the room, they meet you. What typically happens during one of these Smart Recovery meetings?
Yeah, so the first meeting is always the one where I have my sheet and I introduce myself and I kind of give them a little bit of background about Smart Recovery, and then we kind of just go from there. And a lot of the times the conversations definitely happen organically. They're teenagers. They love to talk, and if you are someone who wants to listen to them, they'll talk the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. And like I said, we have games. So like Uno's a big one. Some of them like to color. So we have those options. So like while we're just conversing and talking about like where they want to be during their addiction journey, it's not just like one-on-one talking. It's, all right, well, it's color. Like, I ask them, like, do you have any pets? Like, we kind of get into like a lot. So it just makes it, I feel like, them more comfortable to want to open up and share.
Yeah, at least you build that rapport with them. That helps a lot.
It does. It actually does. Like, they look forward to coming and talking because, like, I'm very down to earth and like non-judgmental, chill, and I somehow speak their lingo as well.
Yeah, no, you're great. And I think that's so important. And we've been talking a lot about what protective factors do we have in our community to, just promote that connection and that support. Having a positive adult figure in someone's life as a youth can be really, really effective in just helping them get through some really tough times. So I think, the way that you're able to connect with our youth, be able to share and make a safe space where they feel that they can share and that information coming through is confidential. And then talk to us a little bit how you help guide them and maybe reflecting on maybe perhaps why they're choosing that addictive behavior and then how they can set goals to maybe reduce that behavior.
Yeah, so setting goals is definitely a big part of like the Smart Recovery. And I mean, I like to start, especially the teens, small. If you're in because like you want to quit vaping, which is a highly typical, like, my thing is, hey, don't bring your vape with you to school. Leave it at home. And for a lot of students, it seems like it's like this silly little goal, but it's big for them.
For sure.
It's almost like having their cell phone like attached to them all the time. And, I'm like, you need to just detach. It's 6 hours. It's gonna, and they do. And so like we start there. But if they come back and they're very honest and they're like, well, I brought it like twice to school today or, anything like that. And I'm like, all right, so reset. Let's just try another week. Like see if we can, so it's always like that. It's okay. Mistakes happen. Like no one's perfect. It's not going to happen overnight. So yeah, I like to try and, help with that too. Because again, goals, it's easier to start small than to start large.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's so important because I'm sure as a youth, if you are addicted to a behavior or, let's say a youth is very much addicted to vaping, because it's an addiction, the thought of stopping cold turkey altogether is like this mountain, right? That this student or youth feels that they have to climb. So I think the structure of Smart Recovery, again, setting small goals with obviously the ultimate goal to be hopefully stopping vaping if that's, the addictive behavior you're looking to improve upon, but knowing that in the beginning, it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Yeah.
We're going to set these small goals. You're going to support them. And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes what comes up is the reasons why maybe they're turning to these addictive behaviors.
Yes.
And again, you do a great job of being able to help them discover that. And if they need additional resources to help with that, whether it's a referral for counseling, seeing a guidance counselor at RAM, you have the tools in your toolbox to be able to make those suggestions.
Yes.
So
and even like when they come in and they're like, well, I'm vaping more because like I'm failing French class or something. I'm like, all right, well, how can I help you maybe bring your work in with you for Smart Recovery. Like if you need a little extra help there too. So like maybe that stressor can get that burden can get taken off of you for that, which the students appreciate that too. So
All right. So if say a parent is wondering if maybe perhaps their youth, their student can benefit from a Smart Recovery meeting, how can they reach out to you to get them into the group?
Yeah. So we have students that have their guidance counselors. The parents can go through the guidance counselor. They'll come. They'll be like, hey, just because I don't have access, unfortunately, to the student, log.
Right.
So if the student does want to come, most of the time to start with the guidance counselor, and then the guidance counselor will be like, hey, so-and-so is going to come join Smart Recovery today. So, I want you to meet them, and the guidance counselor will pull them from their class, and they'll come down and they'll meet me, and, we kind of go from there for that. I mean, or they can reach out directly to me through AHM as well.
Right.
If they would like their student to, participate in Smart Recovery.
Great. So a couple ways. Either a parent can reach out to the school, to their student's guidance counselor. You can always reach out to us directly at AHM. Students can reach out directly to you as well.
Yep.
So that's always an option. All right. So my next question for you is, if, I have my own child perhaps is showing addictive behaviors, or someone in my family, are there groups within Smart Recovery that help friends and families? Because
Yes.
I think that's so important. When you have someone in your life that is struggling with an addiction, you want to be as supportive as possible. And sometimes that can be very draining, and you may not know how to, where to turn to. Are there support networks within SMART for friends and family?
There are. Currently, I know we don't have at AHM any youth and family
The support groups, yeah.
support groups
Yep.
meetings, is what I was looking for my word. But there are other things for Smart Recovery. So like if we don't have one, there are other local places that do hold the friends and family meetings, and that is also available on the Smart Recovery website. Like,
Right.
except for ours because it's in the school system and
Correct.
it's closed. All the other Smart Recovery meetings are posted on the Smart Recovery website,
Right.
where you can go and you can find them. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I feel that the Smart Recovery program, and we're very fortunate to have the Connecticut Youth Recovery Grant to support the work that you do. But Smart Recovery is an international
Yes.
organization. And so, yes, you can go on the Smart Recovery website and see all the online Smart Recovery meetings, whether it's for someone with the addiction, friends and family. And it's quite amazing over the years how the SMART program has grown
Yes.
and offered so many virtual options, which I think is just great. So if you are a parent, or you have a friend that you're trying to support, whether it's going to an in-person meeting, locally somewhere here in Connecticut, or being able to jump on a Zoom, I think the support network now is just so
yes,
great.
and
so
they
great.
do offer hybrids too. So
Yeah.
if you can't make a meeting in person, a lot of them do have the option where you can still join.
Yep.
And you can be a part of it. So.
Yeah, yeah, amazing how our technology has evolved to be
know.
able to help people, which is so great, because I do feel like sometimes, there is that stigma of how do I reach out for help, and so being able to go on a Zoom and maybe staying anonymous,
Yes.
that is an option for SMART.
Yeah,
So,
and in Smart Recovery too, the program itself, like, you don't have to share. No one's gonna like force you and be like, "Hey, what's your name and what are you doing?" It's kind of your own journey. And when you're ready to, be like, "Hey, I'm, Christina Smith. I struggle with, this addiction or something," you can do that. So yeah, sitting in on meetings too is definitely something
helpful.
that is helpful for someone for a first step if they're not sure how to.
Great. Well, Christina, you're amazing. And we are so grateful to have you at RAM. And I know the RAM community and our, teachers, counselors, administrators, we're just so grateful that we have this option right there on campus that our youth can access. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So next, I want to talk to you, Brittany.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your role over at Amplify.
Sure. So at Amplify, I'm a program manager. Right now, I currently work under a DEMIS grant. So I serve 3 different communities within our region. So we're Region 4, same region that AHM sits in.
Go Region 4.
Go Region 4. So I serve 3 different communities, helping to build their local prevention councils, helping to establish youth coalitions, and really just coordinating efforts between partnering with different sectors for the LPC, just kind of connecting people so that we can build a stronger community for not only the youth, but, the community members that are within that town. So,
Yeah, we love our collaboration with Amplify. We had Zachary on in a previous episode talking about youth cannabis, and I do feel that our region is very close knit. We do a lot of collaborative work together, whether it's work groups or community events. And so, yes, just so grateful for all the work that you all do at Amplify and helping us to serve. So as we're talking about youth and addictive behaviors, specifically on THC, marijuana, and vaping, those seem to be some of the substances that we find our youth turning to and experimenting with, alcohol as well. There are ways in which youth might be concealing or hiding some of these substances. And I know that you today have brought along some of these items, and I want, parents to know, caregivers to know that the items that you have brought today and you're going to show us are items that can be purchased on Amazon online, which is somewhat, concerning that our youth have access to these things and are able to, hide and conceal maybe these substances. So I know that you want to go through them, kind of show us a little bit. And again, if you find that your youth has one of these items, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have an addiction. It could mean maybe they are holding it for someone else. But I think in general, it is wise for parents to, see what is out there. And so, why don't you just jump in and if you want to show us some of these objects.
So we'll start with, this is a charger, and it looks very much like for an iPhone or a Samsung phone. It even looks like you could plug it into the wall. So actually the top here comes off, and you can conceal whether it's a pill or whether it's some type of THC product or marijuana. You can hide that inside of here. If you guys want to look at it, I can pass it over to you.
I would never know that this is not.
It's so discreet. So some of the items you'll see, you're going to be amazed that like you could actually hide something in here.
Get it off.
And like Tressa said, it's very easy to get these items on Amazon. If you just put in the search bar discreet items or disguise items, these things will come up. So this is a Sharpie. It looks just like a Sharpie. If you take the cap off, same thing. But if you unscrew, again, you have this little container that you can hide any type of paraphernalia in there, pills again, anything that can fit in there.
Does the Sharpie actually work?
This Sharpie, this one doesn't, but they do have ones that do.
I was wondering.
Yeah. And the other thing that is very interesting, right, about this, the kids can easily hide this to either take it to school, right? Or if they're going to a concert with their friends, it's easy to, hide things to get it into the whatever they're doing, right? Either an event, right? Or something maybe that's going on at school.
Yeah. I find it very interesting. I think the brand Sharpie, right, is so familiar, right? It very much looks like it says Sharpie. It doesn't. It says something else. But yeah, they're making these items to look so realistic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This is a soda can. This is Dr. Pepper, but they have other ones. You can get Coca-Cola, you can get Sprite. You can't, obviously, on the people who are watching, you won't be able to feel the heaviness of this, but it actually feels heavy, like it has soda in it. So it's not just, an empty aluminum can. So the top screws off. And again, you can put items in here. This is big enough, actually, if someone wanted to put like liquid in here. So like you were saying, if someone was, wanted to put alcohol in here, they could. Certain size vapes might fit in here. So this might be easily to use to disguise those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's heavy, right?
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It even has like all the caloric information. It looks just like a soda can.
Like it.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
This one is a little like the one that I feel out of all the items that I did bring today is the most alarming to me. So this is a key fob. So most keys are built like this now, where if you take them apart, right? It has like a circle battery, like a watch battery. So this one comes apart and it has a little again, compartment in here that you could fit any type of substance in there, like pills or something smaller. So when it's put together, which I can do right now, it really does not look, it looks like a normal key. Here, I'll pass it to you and then we can put it together after.
Right. Right, like here's like the pretend.
Yes, yes. And again, you would think that these items were made in a way that are maybe cheaply made, but you can feel the weight to it. It feels like an actual key. So, and you couldn't even tell. Also on here is like just a normal chapstick. Like this is a normal chapstick, but another thing that kids could do is take the chapstick out and utilize this as well. So even just any normal item, they might not even have to order something online that's already empty. They could empty it out to hide something.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Do you want to put that back together?
Oh yeah, let's put it back together.
Yeah, because
so we can see what it looks like.
Because when you brought that in, honestly, I thought
it doesn't even look like it at all. So. So yeah, it just goes back to
you know, like,
this.
Price point, if you were to go on Amazon, are these items like super expensive? No, they're priced.
Yeah, they're very, very, like, I would say you could probably get most of these for under $10. Like, so that might be another thing too, is if you are concerned about your child and, you know, maybe using some of these items, check your Amazon account. So that might be a way to see, you know,
Especially if they have Amazon gift cards, because then you wouldn't even
Yes,
interested.
yes.
Yeah.
So
True, too.
I didn't do the best job. There's a little part right here, but
Yeah, but that is what
yeah,
it looks like.
that's what it looks like.
Looks like the key fob.
Then another thing that we have is this is Axe spray. So, you know, a lot of kids might use this maybe after PE class or something to freshen up. This, you just screw the top off. And again, it's empty and you can hide things in there. So, and it feels just like the item that you would purchase at the store. So, you know, a grocery store, a Walmart, something like that.
Right. And again, these companies that are making these items are so crafty in reconstructing the marketing
Exactly.
part of it,
Yeah,
right?
the
The logos to be so close to what the actual product is.
Yeah. That you wouldn't even notice with the naked eye,
wouldn't.
really,
You wouldn't.
unless you were actually looking for it. So,
Yeah. Again, and we're not showing all these items for parents to
Yeah.
feel that they have to like ransack their children's rooms.
Exactly.
Again, it's just, you know, if your gut is telling you perhaps something isn't right with your child, maybe they are being a little bit more secretive with things. You know, these are just, again, things to bring to parents' awareness.
yeah. And this is just an ordinary water bottle. So this isn't anything special again. But again, it could be something that kids use to conceal items as well. So it's, you know, it has a lot of space in here. So clearly you could put a liquid in here. You could hide a vape in here. I have heard before too is when kids hide things in here and like going through certain like metal detectors, it's kind of like, well, it's a water bottle, so it's going off. It's like they don't think to check inside of there. So if they're concealing something to go into an event of that sort, then they might utilize this. Another thing about this water bottle that I kind of want to mention while I have it in front of me, you see there's a lot of stickers on here. Again, like you were saying with the other items, you might not even notice or pick up on it, but these stickers are promoting, a lot of them are promoting cannabis. So I have some more on the table right here, but that might also be a discreet thing to see if your kid might be, you know, interested in maybe using a THC product. Most of these are related to marijuana, but so yeah, you can kind of see those. And these are other stickers too. So this is a cannabis leaf here, and this one it just says medicated or meditate, and it has another cannabis leaf. So just be aware too, there might be posters too that kids have in their rooms, or you know, like those pillows, right, that they put on their bed that are just like it could be shaped as something. So that's something else to look out for.
Right, because I think this is a very like trendy thing, right? You get a water bottle, you're getting all your different stickers and decals. I see a lot of stickers and decals on kids' laptops, things like that. So yeah, again, just parents being aware of maybe some of these subtleties that could be, you know, kind of clues to something else going on.
This is just a simple little pouch that I had brought from Amplify. So again, this might be something that they picked up at, maybe there's some type of event and there's promotional items there, right? And they might decide that like, oh, this is a perfect thing for me to hide something in. And maybe my parents won't realize, right? It has a little hook, you can connect it to your backpack. So these might be items too that they might store things in as well. So even just like an item that they didn't purchase on Amazon.
Yep. Sure.
Again, this is lotion. So it's for sunscreen lotion and it's a value size. Again, this is not a real, it has no lotion in it. It comes like this. And again, you can just open it up and they might hide things in here as well, right? It's typical. Kids have lotion all the time on them, right? Whether at school or other types of things that they're doing. So, and especially as the weather starts to get warmer out.
Yep.
So that's another item.
So again, you purchased this off of Amazon.
Yes, that one came off Amazon. Yep. But again, like they could empty something out on their own.
Right.
That's just that they had gotten from home or something and hide in it. Some of the items that I didn't bring today, they have like an umbrella that looks just like an umbrella before you pull it out. And instead of it pulling out, you can unscrew it. And that's one that typically you'll see students maybe hiding alcohol in because it's very discreet. It looks just like an umbrella, so you wouldn't really expect it. Another one is they have like tampons that kids might use too to hide things in. It looks just like one. It comes in the actual package too, like before you open, like, you know, that little like plasticky package before you take the tampon out. So again, that's another place that they might hide items. So they also have scrunchy hair ties where there's like a zipper on it, and
I've
you can
seen those.
Yeah, you can hide stuff inside the hair tie, and then, you know, females could just wear it right on their wrist, or anyone could wear it on their wrist. So
Again, trendy, like, right? We always have a hair tie on our wrist.
yeah. So it's just, you know, just things to be aware of. Again, like you had said, Tressa, just because your kids might have some of these items, it doesn't mean that they might be, you know, doing these things, but it's just something that to be aware of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm overwhelmed. I feel like, and I think it's too, there's the price point that these are at and the fact that they're so accessible on these online purchasing websites, you know, yeah. So I just want to ask the two of you, within all of this information, what advice could you give to parents, you know, as they're moving forward? I think that, you know, we know that raising children in this day and age, it's hard, right? There's a lot of pressures that are going on, a lot more things that our kids are exposed to and have access to. So if there was anything that you could tell a parent, whether it's advice or how to connect with resources, you know, what are some of those things that you might share? I know, who wants to go first on that one?
I was going to, I do have a 15-year-old at home, so the teen and all this stuff is very much so, you know, you see it, you see it at school, and, you know, just because your friend is vaping doesn't mean you need to vape or anything else. I think my biggest thing, especially for parents, is try to have an open mind and like just talk with your teen. Maybe not so much, you know, directly, like have an actual conversation, because I feel like they do reciprocate. And I think having that open connection, especially with your teens, is something that, you know,
and
can
do you
benefit
find,
them.
Having the conversations maybe sometimes earlier than what we feel
Yes.
Yes.
could be appropriate, but is probably helpful.
Yes.
Because I think sometimes if you wait too late, then it does come off as like we're trying to lecture our kids. So, yeah, any thoughts about like what age should I start having these conversations with my kids with?
Even like 5th, 6th grade, as early as that, you know, I mean, elementary schools.
I would definitely agree with that. And to kind of go off of what you were saying earlier, is just being proactive and having those conversations early. A good time to have the conversation is like when you're in the car, because when you're driving, you're not facing each other and you're both, right? You're stationary, you can't go anywhere, right? So it's a really good time. A lot of parents say that to have, you know, these kinds of conversations, because it's just, it's a little bit easier to have that conversation when you're both kind of like facing forward, or if your kids are sitting in the back. So
I 100% agree with that. I'm the oldest of 11 kids, and I felt like my parents knew some really good strategies on how to talk to us individually, but knew kind of like my sisters and I, we were more open in any situation. My brother's a little bit more closed off. So my mom would always tell us how when she wanted to talk to my brothers about something, she would ask them if they wanted to go through a drive-through, get some fast food, which wasn't, you know, an everyday thing in our household. So it was kind of incentivizing, and would have conversations in the car. And the same thing you said, because you don't have to have that eye contact, and you know there's some distractions going on outside of the vehicle, and just some of us
intimidating to the kid, right?
Yeah, and you would open up more. So yeah, great advice, and I know that I've heard that now from you and my mom, and that is something that I definitely have done with my own kids is, let's hop in the car, let's go for a ride, let's chit-chat a little bit.
Early prevention, though, is so huge, like young, right? And if you need suggestions on like what language to use, right? I know obviously AHM would be a great place. You guys have tons of resources.
Yep.
Same with Amplify. We have tons of resources too. The Clearinghouse is a good
Yes.
one too. They have so many pamphlets, things that you can get for free.
Yes.
They have a free library as well. So
Right. And I love, like you said, the Clearinghouse has information about how to talk to your kids. It's not just a pamphlet on a particular, substance. It actually gives you guidance on conversation starters. How do you approach this topic? Because it is a hard topic to have. But again, I think from what I'm hearing from both of you is having those conversations early and creating a space that is comfortable so you can have that communication go on and that it's a regular thing that you do over time. I think that's really important.
Yeah, because if they feel safe to come to you to talk to you about something that's, it might be uncomfortable for them, right, to come and they're nervous to disappoint you or upset you. But if you have that open line of communication, like starting at an earlier age, then if something is happening and they feel like they need to talk about it, you're their safe space. So
I think too, I know that I've had these conversations with my children growing up, is that if they have friends that might be experimenting with some of this stuff, how do you coach your child on maybe creating a little bit of a distance, but at the same time being supportive of that friend that might be getting into some things that might be unsafe? So any thoughts around that? Because that's a hard thing sometimes, right? Especially, as you're moving into these transitional years, middle school, high school, and you want to fit in, but that something may not be 100% safe. So any thoughts on that?
I always just tell them to make good choices or try to make good choices. Think before, you act or do. I know bathrooms, unfortunately, in the high school are a place where a lot of the teens go, and they go as a group. You don't have to go with your friend. That doesn't mean you're not friends anymore. That doesn't mean you're not part of the group anymore.
Right.
But, again, thinking of those like, all right, I don't want to be involved in this. You're still my friend. You're a good person. We can talk and have that. And if I'm here if you ever need something, but I just don't want to be a part of maybe that social aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having that conversation, right? If this person who is your friend and they continue maybe to use or to utilize, it's great that at Rockville you guys have Smart Recovery, so maybe it's something that you could suggest to take a friend to. Hey, come here with me. Even if your kid isn't using, maybe they just need to be that supportive person to maybe get them there. But also just realizing, who you surround yourself with is really important. And sometimes it's hard for kids though, right? They're in a community at school where it's like their world is so small to us, but to them it's like that is their world. So they feel like it's hard when you're like kind of maybe breaking that friendship, right? Because you got to make what's right for the choice that's right for you. So yeah, just being supportive of them. And it's great that at the high school in Rockville you have Smart Recovery to be able to lean on. So
Yeah. All right. So I think what I'm learning from at least this is communication is so important. So finding ways that you can talk to your kids, have that open communication, and helping them make smart decisions, but having them kind of own that decision. Again, not lecturing so much, but maybe helping them pro and con, right? Some situations out, and hopefully then they can make those decisions on their own. All right, before we end today's episode, is there anything else that you want to share? Brittany, if people wanted to reach out to Amplify, where and how can they do that?
Yeah, so if you would like to reach out to Amplify, you can go on to our website at amplifyct.org. So you could reach us there, and all of our coordinators, our program managers, they are listed on our website. So best way to get a hold of us is to email, because we're always checking our email. You can call us, but I think that it's a lot easier through email. So yeah, reach out. That's the best way.
And how about you, Christina? If a parent wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Again, through the guidance office at the Ram High School, then also through AHM directly. And my information for Smart Recovery is on our website as well. So with all my information. Yep.
And as always, if you want to get a hold of us at AHM, our website is ahmyouth.org. We have a ton of information on there, and you can always give us a call as well. So both of you, thank you so much for coming on today. This was
you.
so incredibly helpful, and I hope that those that are watching, parents, caregivers, grandparents, this has brought a little bit more enlightenment on kind of some of these ways that, you know, we can conceal these substances, but also knowing that there are resources and that in our community we are trying to provide ways that we can help and guide youth. So again, thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you for having us.
And we thank you for tuning in and look forward to seeing you next time.